styrophones, I cyclone. Circles round wide eyes, school them like Cooley High. I make the Dewey Decimal move like U-Haul, rack like a pool hall. Game over, I'm the black ball with big balls. That plus my word, I ain't breaking for none of y'all. These facts, see, I reinvest to relax. Detoxed off the bullshit that relapsed. So I'm back with this verbal sarcasm that hasn't been seen in a long time. Unicorn time, Unabomber grind, just waiting for the blow up. Acting like a hero, then we cut them up like cold cuts. Pickles on the side, sweat trickle, we outside like kids with ADD. The brown leaf produce smoke that got me sitting like Buddha. The beta boys moving like they just grew Buddhas. We do is that won't say don't go off script. The long-winded gets cut too short. The shit hits the dormant sleeping dragon that's the rudely awakened. Swine always whine like lips on bacon. Streets give street niggas work and police give streets niggas vacation. Police stations ain't PlayStation, we just station. We're the sanctions. A heavy on the melanation, my elevation is like levitation. David Copperfield, trap a rat, and the guy that spilled indictments are sealed. Ain't no new friends with more Benjamins. Or soon coming in who want me dead. Many men, they extra and extra gym. More drama than Big Mama. Come in peace, cause I keep a peace like Dalai Lama and Sir Kama. I'm Obama, half Osama. No chicks in my arm and no seeds in my marijuana. Spit like a llama, grab the wheel, drop the car.
We back.
Like fuck yesterday. Who's tomorrow? Make dollars make sense. So if you ain't talking money, then you're talking no sense. Honestly, nonsense. I'm consciously woke in the matrix.
We back. Coffee and Mary Jane, we back, people.
I took my red pill with a bottle of Henny. So save your Bible hems, cause we move like Henry's. 52 blocks, full throttle.
Full throttle.
Hands of warm bottles.
You won't be coddled.
I unapologetically let my nuts hang till tomorrow.
I offend, unfriend, and unfollow.
It's 52
Wrench gang gang.
Don't hold hands of warm bottles. You won't be coddled.
I unapologetically let my nuts hang till tomorrow. Mars Mathematics, Wrench gang gang. Family, salute to the family. Rich gang gang up in the building. Rich gang gang in the building. How all my blockheads doing? We've been gone for a minute. How my blockheads doing? We're gonna give time to let some people come in the room. We can groove to some of them smooth triangle trade salute. That's how we do it around here. Triangle trade salute. Playing some of them new things. Some of them. Yeah, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. Peace, peace. Where'd it be? Where'd it be? Let me move this a little closer so I can see. Yeah. Yeah, playing some of them new Burley classics. These are the new Burley classics. Pardon that first live. Having camera problems. Yeah, that 52 song. I just played the first one. I'm about to play the second one while we let some people come in the building. Play some of them Burley's greatest hits right here, baby. We got some of the Burley's greatest hits right here. And play some of them new joints. And for all the people that didn't know, before I was scrapping, I was rapping. That's right, bars. Get them likes up. Let the people come in the building. Where my people's at? When I just went live, I had like 15 people on deck already. Where they at? This is one of my classics right here. I like this joint here. I gotta get a better sound system though. We're gonna chop it up. You know how we do around Coffee and Mary Jane. We talk deep talk. We talk fight talk. You know what I'm saying? We got a couple of things to talk about in the world of fighting. Things been happening since we've been gone. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Razor Sharp Sony. I was signed to Wu-Tang. I was signed by Divine. I think he's what's the name? RZA's cousin. They should have dropped my album. They might still be Wu-Tang right now. Make sure you got your stick. Make sure you got your stick. Make sure you got your coffee. Oh, that coffee good, people. That's good coffee right there. Yeah, we going live way often now. 2 to 3 lives a week. We going in. We going in because we took off. We took off too much time, so you know we got to go back in. We took off too much time. We at that 5-minute mark. We gonna give it a 7-minute mark today. Let some people come in the building, and then we going in. Everything is okay. Would it be? Would it be? It's your boy Burley back in the building. We got some things to talk about. Who feeling strong? Guns out. Pull them guns out. Where your guns at? Don't be letting them fool you thinking that, you know, you supposed to be a martial artist and you all fat and out of shape. No, pull them guns out. Get that work in. Get that work in. Because we about to chop it up. I don't care how many people in the building. We finna chop it up. We giving it the 7-minute mark. We got about 30 seconds, and then we're gonna dive into this. That was the pre-roll. That was the appetizer right there. We about to get to the main course. That's right. That's right, Mars. That's right. Get back up in there. Mars Burley is getting back in the gym. The gym is opening up. 52 Philadelphia section, the Philadelphia branch. Mars Burley, that's right. That's family. Anybody already know how Burley roll, know who the family is. Wrench gang gang. Let's get this started. Let's talk about something. Let's first knock out some of this fight news that's been happening. Now, we got the Rolly and Tank fight back on. The Rolly and Tank fight is back on. Now, anybody who knows. I sparred with Rolando Romero. Very good fighter. Very good fighter as in he has what a lot of fighters don't have. No, he is not as technical savvy as Tank Davis. We know this. Tank Davis is on another level. But there's an intangible part of fighting. Kambosos, Henry, Kambosos made me mad. Let me go off topic right now. Kambosos made me mad, but I also understand where Kambosos is at. When you just got that belt, you trying to hold on to that belt. You want to hold on to that belt, and I get it. And Devin Haney is an uphill battle. Yes, Devin Haney could take what you just earned, and I think Kambosos, after seeing that Haney, who did Haney just fight? How's it slipping my mind? Who did Haney? What's the name? Come on, who's with me? Who did Haney just fight? He beat up Tevin Farmer, and Jojo Diaz. Yeah, that Jojo Diaz fight where Haney put Kambosos on notice. Put Kambosos on notice, and now Kambosos is like, nah, I'm not sure if I want to go the Haney route. I think he has a very, like I said, Rolly has that intangible thing. Rolly has that fighter's fight. Like, he really comes to fight. I mean, like, you don't get too many people who love to fight, who love the action of getting hit, hitting another man, and there are some people that are very good at it, and then there are people that love it. Rolly is one of those people that loves fighting, that makes him very dangerous. No, his technique may not be on the highest level, but his love for fighting makes him a very dangerous fighter. And I think this ain't going to be as easy as people think. I think they're going to be pretty much surprised of how much of a fight Rolly puts up, because you got to understand, Rolly got to be knocked out. He has to be knocked out. He's the type of fighter that you're gonna you're gonna have to throw in the towel to stop him, because he's going to fight to death, or you're gonna have to knock him out. So this fight is definitely going to be a knockout. That fight is ended in a knockout. The Rolly Tank fight, yeah, there will be a knockout. That's not a decision fight there. Rolly doesn't have the decision style. He knows he can't beat Tank on a decision fight. So he knows he has to bring the backyard boogie. He has to rough him up. He has to elbow him. Rolly is known for throwing elbows after them hooks. He hits you with the hook and follow it up with a little short elbow like Mike Tyson used to do. So he's rough and tumble in there. He's a man that can upset your style because he's bringing rough and tumble. I think he did grow up in the U.S., but he's very, his Cuban love is big, you know, very big. Shakur versus Oscar Valdez. I don't want to call that one, but Shakur is on another level, man. Like, Shakur is different, you know, in any weight class with his skill, he'd be a problem. He'd be a straight problem for any weight class with the skill set that he has. Shakur is on another planet, people. Shakur Stevenson is different. Did anybody just seen that little slap boxing match he had with Andre Ward? Like, he could have touched Andre. Like, he was throwing shots over Andre's shots. Like, this man, he sees stuff. Like, he must see everything happen in slow motion. I think Shakur Stevenson sees the fight happen in slow motion. So he sees everything you bringing. Like I said, he's on another level. Oscar Valdez is not ready for him. The Ugas Spencer fight is going to be a good fight, but I just believe Ugas is tailor-made for Spence. If you're going to bring the fight to Spence, then I think you're going to be eaten alive. And I think Ugas has that style. He's going to bring the fight to Spence. You know, he's not no tuck tail and run. He's coming to fight, and I think that kind of really plays into the hands of Spence. Because if you come forward, when he's coming forward, oh, there's going to be a collision. And there's going to be a crash up more on your side than his side. You know, Spence has a real sublime, hard to see defense. His defense is so structured that it's not like this defense. Like, you know, you see people with this defense, even blocking and stuff. Errol Spence has a different type of defense. Hold on, let me see. Why's my thing not rolling? Hold on, there we go. Shakur's a monster. LB, Clarissa Shields and Shakur Stevenson never stopped training even when that's right. Clarissa, salute to Clarissa. She don't be getting enough props. Give Clarissa her props. Rolly says Shakur is a bum and can't crack. What? You know, well, see, Rolly talks a lot of smack, too. Let's not get it twisted. Some of the stuff that comes out of Rolly's mouth, you know, I'm going to put it like this. Rolly is not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Look in his eyes. You know, he has that whole Cro-Magnon thing going on. Cro-Magnon man thing going on there. You know, I don't want to try to knock a man's intelligence, but I also believe he says stuff for shock value. He has that ability. He knows the shock value of what he's saying. And I believe he says those things just for the shock value of it. To call Shakur Stevenson a bum with his skill set, come on now. I just gave him the intangible thing, but we ain't going to give him the skill set thing. Him and Shakur are light years apart. So I don't think he could be calling Shakur Stevenson no bum. That's not even close. But like I said, I believe the Rolly Tank fight is going to be a lot harder than Tank thought. I think it's going to be like that Emmanuel Augustus Mayweather fight, and even Mayweather said it. He said when he fought Emmanuel Augustus, on paper, he looked like a easy fight, but he said that was the hardest fight of his career. He said Emmanuel Augustus. Yeah, that's all that is, just talk beef. But he said Emmanuel Augustus was the hardest fight of his career, but on paper, you couldn't tell. He said on paper, you couldn't tell who Emmanuel Augustus is. And I believe, oh, this is the goody good. I believe the Rolly fight is going to be another tough fight. Even though Isaac Cruz was a tough fight for Tank Davis too, because he had to fight with one hand. We seen what happened with Gary Russell. He had to fight with one hand, and he did pretty good. But Gary Russell, he upset the politics of the game. You know, you have to understand the politics of the game. Like, you can't never let your feelings get so far ahead of you that you forget that there's politics happening. And I think that's what happened with Gary, because that fight could either went either way, and it should have went to Gary because he was the champion. But I think even at the PBC, they don't like Gary. He been talking too much smack. Yeah, you seen the heavy Andy. He was throwing shots over his shots. And fast, countering them joints. Countering them things from Son of God, SOG, Andre Ward. He was countering them things. Like, he was making Andre Ward look real slow out there. Like this, like I said, Shakur's on another level. He on another level. You see that man in sparring? You ain't never seen Shakur get dominated in sparring. Even when he sparred Devin Haney, now that was a great sparring match. I think I'm going to have to do a reaction to that sparring match between Devin Haney and Shakur, because there was a lot of beautiful technical things happening in that fight. Like, he was bringing the best out of Haney. Haney had to kind of like adjust to Shakur. Just drove from Vegas. Yeah, like I said, that Haney thing, I think I am going to end up doing a reaction to the Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson spar match, because that was a good spar match. You can learn a lot from that match. Like I said, since they're so technical, a lot of technical things was happening in that spar match that you got to slow down to see. You gotta have somebody like your Uncle Burley pointing it out for you, so you can see some of them fancy things. Patrice Neville's prayers and blessings. Salute. Glad you here. We back at it. What is Errol Spence's defense? Errol Spence's defense is a lot of it is in his feet. Now, he don't bounce around, but his movement, that half step he takes back to open up the gap to make you miss and swing it and catch you. The high guard, how he picks off a lot of your shots. Yeah, he's definitely a Prince Nassim in the ring. You know, Errol Spence picks off a lot of your shots, blocking, smothering, opening up the gap. See, these are things in defense that a lot of people, that unless you know and been taught it, you don't know it as a defense. We see defense as, you know, blocking, Philly shelling, you know, something that you can see, but there are intangible things that you can't see that are happening that makes the defense actually work. And Errol Spence has that. He has that technical defense without all the crazy head movement and trying to move around and bouncing around, catching your shot, range. Sublime. What's the name has the same thing? Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson rarely gets hit. And you don't see him doing all of this. And you don't see, you know what I'm saying, very small, but you don't see it overly done. You know, but he rarely gets hit because he's like a range man. That man's gift of understanding the distance between him and his opponent is Manny feet. It's almost mutant level how he understands the range between you and him and his opponent. So defense ain't always just body movement or what you see Canelo doing, because the Canelo has a lot of swivel in his waist to give him good body and head movement. Someone like a Pernell Whitaker had Willie Pep had defense in his feet. Someone like a Georgie Benton had defense in his shell. Tim Witherspoon blocking, catching punches. So defense comes in many layers, and then you have certain people that master one layer of it. But then it's the small things of defense that make the big things happen, and that's where Errol Spence is working with. It's insane. Like, he's another one that doesn't get hit a lot. You think he get hit a lot, but Errol Spence doesn't take too much damage. He took more damage in that car crash than he did in any of his fights, except for that one time he got hurt. There is one fight where dude clipped him, and he was on Queer Street for like 3 seconds. But, you know, his training, conditioning, snapped back like a rubber band, and then he got him up out of there. But for like 3 seconds, Errol Spence was on Queer Street. And if that kid knew what he was doing, he probably could have took full advantage of it. But that's the only time I've ever seen Errol hurt. Like hurt. You know, I'm pretty sure them punches he done caught hurt. But, you know, that's the only time I ever seen him on really like Queer Street. That's why you my family, Mars. Yes, I will definitely. I would definitely let Miss Burley know today's her birthday. You know, today is Miss Burley's birthday. So, you know, if you're on my Facebook, stop by, drop a happy birthday on there to the queen of 52 blocks. I think we have to see Errol Spence and Crawford. I can't really see, unless something goes tragically wrong, I don't really think we're going to see that not happening. Because as of right now, Crawford wants to fight, Errol wants to fight. The way that they're doing it, I like it. Errol's going to go get the belt from Ugas, so when he fights Terrence, it's for undisputed. I said this in one of my lives before. That's what he was supposed to do. Emanuel Stewart, rest in peace, one of the greatest. Facts. I said one of my lives before, that was the better way. Was so that the fight that they have is for undisputed, and that's what it's looking like. I think Errol Spence beats Ugas. I think Terrence, if he's smart, he fights Keith Thurman, so he can stay active for that Errol fight. And by the time he finished the Keith Thurman fight, Errol finished Ugas. Ain't nothing but air and opportunity in between them then, and all the air is gone. You know, that's how we used to say it when we get ready to fight. Like, yo, homie, ain't nothing but air and opportunity between us, and the air is gone. So all you got is opportunity. I just sucked all the air out the room. That's how they used to say it back in the gangster days. That was gangster back in the 80s. That was gangster talk. Like, homie, ain't nothing between me and you but air and opportunity. Bars. Press one. Press one for that one. I'm going to put it on the t-shirt. Ain't nothing between me and you but air and opportunity. And the air is gone. Let's rock. Let's rock. That's right. Press one. That's going on the t-shirt, people. That's going on the t-shirt. And I believe after the Keith Thurman fight, after Terrence beats Keith, and he will, after Errol Spence beats Uga, and he will, ain't nothing but air and opportunity between them two. So that's the only way. If something crazy happens, then maybe that fight might not happen. But I just can't see it. They both want to fight. The fight should happen, especially for undisputed. There's only 6 undisputed champions. Canelo making the 6th. Why not go for being the 7th? This is why Kambosos it got to be scared. Why wouldn't you want to fight Haney for undisputed if you really about making history? But Kambosos is about keeping his hands on that belt. He's trying to keep that belt in Australia for as long as he can. But I'm sorry, buddy. That belt coming back to America. I'm sorry. He's coming back. Yeah. Jaron Ennis. That's right. Everybody smash that like button. Jaron Ennis is definitely a threat. I think they're giving them too much push by saying he's ready for Errol Spence and Crawford. That's not something you can call. We can't really call that Jaron Ennis is ready for the top of the top. Astonished 89, would it be? We can't really say that. We can't really say that. His competition isn't stiff enough to say that he's ready for those two right there. I mean, like, to beat him. He's ready to fight him. But they're already giving Jaron Ennis a victory over Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Like, these guys are nothing. Nah. That ain't no cakewalk. That ain't no cakewalk. Every fighter got to talk like that. Yes, Jaron Ennis is an exceptional talent. He will be a champion. We know that for sure. He may be the king of the welterweight soon. But I think that's going to be after Errol moves up. You know, I don't even think Errol and Terrence don't even have to fight Jaron Ennis. Like, there's nothing in it for them in that fight. Like, They're on that in their career. They're on a whole different level. Like they can't even see Jerron Ennis right now. Jerron Ennis is doing right though. You call out the big dogs. That's right. You talk you talk about the big. That's what you do. That's what you do. You want to get some attention as the man on the bottom. Like if you on the bottom and you want to bring attention, then you talk about the people on the top. Instant attention. Because it's so crazy. The people on the top is gonna be like, who is this small man talking all this talk? Yeah, they shouldn't even be, that's what boxing going to do, but they shouldn't even be putting Jerron Ennis against Errol Spence and them, because there are other 147 pounders coming up that he can engage with. Yeah, Jerron is definitely going to be a champion, no doubts about it. Boots is definitely going to be a champion, and I don't think he's going to need Errol or Terrence Crawford to do it. Because after the Errol and Terrence Crawford fight, Errol is not sticking around. If Errol beats Terrence Crawford, he's moving up. So unless Jerron Ennis is going to chase him up to 154, it ain't going to happen. What Jerron Ennis needs to do is if Errol beats Terrence, he's going to move up. Terrence may still be around. So if Terrence is still around, Terrence is going to need the Boots Ennis fight, and this is going to be good for Boots Ennis, because if Terrence loses and he didn't retire, he's going to need the Boots fight. Chris Colbert is a problem. That boy is a viper. He is. Him and Shakur Stevens is a mega fight, as they build themselves up even more. I think we should see Shakur Stevenson versus Colbert. They want that work. They both, they got supreme skill. There's Chris Colbert has to come up to 130. I think where's he at 126 now? I think he's gonna have to come up. He fighting, and then when he come up, that Stevenson fight waiting for him, because Stevenson is definitely trying to take over 130. So if Chris move up, then yeah. All the smoke, and I think that's a hell of a fight. Stevenson versus Chris Colbert, hell of a fight. If what's the name? What's the one that the Japanese do with all of the power? What's the Japanese fighter with all Nanook? What's this? Inoue. I think Inoue versus Shakur Stevenson is a big fight. Chris Colbert is 132? I thought Chris Colbert was at 126. Well, then they both in the same weight class. They should pop it off. Let's read what my man, what my family said. He said, "Yo, LB, why do you think these fighters get stuck in the systems like Tiger Claws and Ish instead of going to what works?" Wow. Inoue got to come up. Good question. The fantasy, I used to do these videos back in the day called Fantasy Killers, and what I've learned is that the fantasy machine is bigger than the reality machine. It's kind of like what Disney done with love. Like Disney has taken the love thing and just distorted it, filled it with a whole bunch of delusions, and it's the reason why people are running around for a Disney love. A Disney, in the reality of it, love is harsh, love is rough, love isn't always a smooth thing. But what Disney has tried to do is take love and make it smooth, and because of it, you have a lot of our women and men running around with a delusional concept of love, and that's why they're having a hard problem finding love. And it's the same thing with the martial arts. You have a lot of brothers running around wanting to believe in the tiger's claw, wanting to believe in it, they snake style. I just had a discussion with a guy over this right here. You see this? He told me this is how you can fight. You can fight with a raised knuckle. No, you cannot. You cannot. None of this stuff works, people. None of it works. I'm here to tell you. But I know, even though I've said this and I can prove it, the fantasy machine is still going to pump this stuff out. You know, still going to pump this stuff out. And for the people who don't know much about fighting, it's easy. It's easy to fool somebody that doesn't have all of the information on a certain thing. Just like when you take your car to the mechanic, you don't never know what the hell he's talking about. You need a new J tube and your F rod is off, and you're like, a J tube. Well, how much? How much is that? Here, straight line. There be no J tube, but you're ignorant. You don't know nothing about no cars. So in that thing, anybody can be misled when there's a lack of information. And that's all it is that in fighting, it's just a lack of information. So, it's easy to mislead people into believing all of this stuff will work. No, the tried old true method works. You take 5 fingers, you close it, you take your thumb, you wrap around the 2 punch fingers, the 2 punch knuckles, you lock them away, you punch the man in the face. Hundreds of years, decades, that's been working. It's a tried true method. It ain't gonna fail you. Now, this doesn't mean you can't break your hand. Just because you punch correctly doesn't mean your hand can't get broken. No, I'm not saying that. Even in the correct fist, you could break it. Why? Because our hands weren't made to make for fighting. But what happened, I read about it, is that our hands did evolve to make fists to bust each other in the head. So as we started, having to fight and hunt for food, the evolution of our hands started changing so that we could fight. So in a way, we are meant to punch. Or at least our hands evolved to give us more punch, more blunt use of it. But in reality, it's such a finite technique because you can only use 2 knuckles. It's so precise that you could be off. You could throw the punch right. He could move his head in some funny way and catch your bottom 2 knuckles, and now your hand is on break. But you got to deal with it. I didn't say there's no absolutes. And this is why most people fall off. They want absolutes. They want the magical. They want the magical. And that's why they fall for stuff like this, thinking this can actually work in a real fist fight. There's no way you can keep your knuckle like this in a real fist fight and land the punch, and your knuckle doesn't go back in. It doesn't slide back in. And then you're punching with this knuckle, which cannot take pressure. Your hand, the 2 knuckles right here, the only reason they take pressure is because they're backed up by the forearm bone. These 2 knuckles are only backed up by knuckle bones, which are small and fragile. That's why you don't hit with these 2 knuckles. You have to go with the anatomy of your body, not a fantasy. Like, the fantasy is so big now, people are stepping outside of facts. It's crazy. They're prepared to step outside of facts to prove their point. Splash, and with it be, that's right. I give that scientific view on it. You know how I do around here. I ain't gonna let my people go out there trying to do none of this stuff. Ain't nobody on my stream gonna do that because I love y'all too much. Monkey D. I love my peoples that come on my stream, so I ain't gonna even allow y'all to do no freaky stuff. No. Make a fist, bust him in his head, make him go sleep. You want to go for something else? Take it to the elbows. Yeah, yeah. Shakur Stevenson really needs to thank Terrence Crawford for bringing that lawsuit because it made Bob had to scramble. Like, I'm no racist. I'm not a racist. Let me show you I'm not a racist. Look at Shakur. I got him that fight he's always wanted. Come on. Come on. Is there racism in boxing? Hell to the yes. Hell to the yes. Of course. Of course. I don't even see why people are acting like they're surprised. Could Bob Arum favor European fighters and other fighters over black fighters? Yes. Yes. Maybe he has a preference. Maybe he likes Mexican fighters better than black fighters. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know one thing. Mayweather laid the blueprint. He showed He showed like some people just ain't good for promoting stuff. You don't go into a Dominican barber as a black man and ask for a haircut. You can, but don't be mad if it don't come out the way you want. They're used to dealing with a different texture. You know, some Dominicans got like our style of hair, but I'm just saying, you don't go if you find out that one place is not good for promoting black fighters. Why would you sign with them? Why would you sign with them? I'll go to Al Haymon. It's that simple. It's really not a hard choice. But that's the decision Terrence Crawford wanted to make, and now look where he's at. So that was really Terrence Crawford. That's Terrence Crawford's fault, not Bob's. Bob is going to be Bob, and he has every right to be that. Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying, Heavy Andy. He could like these fighters. It might not even be racism. It might just be he gets more money off of the Mexican fighters, and they silly, and they don't know how to talk English, and they willing to fall for his tricks. When us American fighters ain't falling for no tricks. So maybe that's why. I don't know. But if you already know that there's a problem over there with the way he promotes black fighters, why would you sign with him? And even if you didn't know, why would you re-sign? Because he re-signed with him. So come on, like this is Terrence Crawford's fault. At some point, you must take accountability for your actions, and you can't point the fingers like, they tricked me. They know you tricked yourself. Yes, Floyd definitely needs to open the school for black fighters and show them how to do business. He might as well go the whole way, because he definitely got the formula. He has the formula. Devin Haney, look at Devin Haney. Devin Haney is one fighter that's following Floyd. They ain't even talking about it. Devin Haney is his own promoter. He took the lessons of Floyd. Look how he getting big money. Devin Haney is like the second paid fighter in the 130 pound in that class. Common sense ain't common facts. Devin Haney is only second to Tank Davis. And he's his own promoter. Tank Davis has a boss. Devin Haney doesn't. So even though Tank is making more money, Devin Haney is in a better position. So Devin Haney is one fighter who's seen the ways of Floyd, followed it, and that man getting buku money now. He getting buku money. He getting buku. He can set his own price. You know, I applaud Devin Haney. At least he heard, at least he's seen the writing on the wall. Yeah. Well, Floyd just has an understanding of business. He laid out the blueprint. He's constantly telling other fighters, I've laid out the blueprint. Come on. Like, what it is with black fighters, and I'm going to tell you like this. What it is with black fighters is it goes deep into our black community. Terrence Crawford didn't sign with the PBC because he wanted to be, I ain't with those dudes. You know, we always want to buck our own kind for some reason. Like, we get a joy with bucking each other. And he looking at Floyd like Floyd just trying to own me, or he going, nah, man, he need to stop that. Hold on. You said Al Haymon not paying fighters fully. I don't know. I can't really, Heavy Andy, I can't really co-sign that. I can't really co-sign that. Everybody at PBC is happy. There are no PBC detractors. There are no real PBC detractors except for like Gary Russell. he had a little detraction in him. But everybody in the PBC, money is set up. They even set Adrian Broner up. Adrian Broner had money. He was just an idiot. But I can't say that I haven't seen or heard a report of anything that Al Haymon is doing against his fighters as far as paychecks. I haven't heard it. Errol Spence speaks highly of Al Haymon and how he set him up for the rest of his life. They said Al Haymon setting you up outside the boxing. Come on, man. Come on. Now, there are fighters that have used the black card, promoters, like Don King. Don King did use the black card, and he robbed fighters. So yes, there is potential for that. Just like, what's the name that took all that money in that pyramid scheme? and he used his own Jewish people to do it. So there are people that will take advantage of the system, yes, but that doesn't mean you throw the system out. Madoff, yeah, Madoff. Yeah, Adrian Broner did it to himself. Al Heyman had him set up too. Adrian Broner did it to himself. So we can't blame that on the PBC. Now, their numbers may be bad. They might not be putting on. It's COVID. I don't really think anybody numbers is doing well in COVID. But before COVID, who had the game in the smash? The PBC. Who still has the game in the smash? The PBC. They've signed the top fighters. Most of the top fighters are with the PBC. So, you know. Awesome. Yeah, I'm back in effect. That's right. Usum, I'm back in effect. Coffee and Mary Jane is back. We back in the building. If you a bad melanated brother, what do you mean by bad? He'll throw you to the wolves. That's just business. That's not a white or black thing of being thrown to the wolves. That's a alpha beta thing. Salute, appreciate you. I don't know if John Jones is scared, but I do know he knows that's not an easy fight. I think he knows that's not an easy fight. But being thrown to the wolves is not a white or black thing. That's a business thing. It's always going to happen. You know, it is what it is. You know, boxing feeds off of itself. Boxing is one sport that feeds off of itself. You feed old fighters to new fighters to help bring up new fighters' names. So yeah, everybody gets thrown to the wolves. If you become a gatekeeper fighter, they throw you to the wolves. Every promotional does it. Bob does it. De La Hoya does it. The PBC does it. Don King does it. What's that other one? The Zone, they do it. There's no boxing promotions that don't throw fighters to the wolves. It's part of boxing. It's the way boxers come up. Boxers don't come up like basketball teams and football teams. No, they come up by eating each other. He has the top, has all of the upcoming prospects in boxing. So the small, Bob Arum is not a small hat in no way. He's been in the game for so long, he's going to win. If you've been in the game as far as Bob Arum, he's going to win. He's going to win. And win as far as he's going to get prospects too. Like the PBC will get some prospects, Bob will get some prospects. But who's going to stay? Especially the black prospects that Bob gets if he don't promote them right. Oh, Usum with that $2 super chat. Salute to your boy for donating and supporting the war. As my man Sub-Zero would do it. Thank you for supporting the war. Salute. I appreciate you. Everything, every penny is appreciated over here, man. That's right. Press 1 for Usum with that super chat. Just out of no reason. He super chatted for no reason. That's how we do it around here. Just super chat for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Keep the machine going. Let's keep the Burley machine going. Just super chat, just the super chat. I don't care if it's a quarter, $1.50. Everything is accepted. I appreciate you. Yeah, so Bob is always going to be winning in the game. He's been in the game too long. He's been in the game way too long to not be able to get fighters. But he did Terrence wrong as far as promoting them. But Terrence didn't promote himself either. Terrence is not an easy fighter to promote. You know, he has that Hagler thing going on where he doesn't, he's a good fighter, he just doesn't have the charisma. Charisma is needed. So Bob Abrams still going to be able to collect top fighters, get champions. That ain't going to stop. That Bob ain't going to stop. He's been, he's deeply rooted in the game of boxing. So he always going to get off, no matter what's happening. Alrighty. Miss Burley gonna come up in here talking about what we talking about. Everybody on the line. Mrs. Burley is on the line. Wish her a happy birthday. Today is her birthday. Miss Burley is on the line. Everybody in the chat, wish my babe a happy birthday. Go on and do it. Go and wish her a happy birthday. If you rocking with your boy Burley, go and wish Miss Burley a happy birthday. If you ain't already do it on Facebook. If you ain't already did that. There we go. See, my peoples represent. Patrice Nevels, have I seen any Sit Down Sandy? Have I seen Sit Down Sandy? Are you asking me, have I seen Sit Down Sandy? What? I've done like 6 reactions to him. I think I single-handedly made Sit 'em Down Sandy more popular. I'm truly believing my Sit 'em Down Sandy videos made him more popular. My joints was getting like 8, 9, 10,000 hits. His new videos? No, I ain't seen no new videos. I haven't. He got new videos? He got new videos? I gotta check. If Sitting Down Sandy got some new videos, I'm on it. That's crazy. I've been waiting for some new Sit Down Sandy. Yeah, Sandy is a beast of beasts. Yeah, yes he is. Yes he is. Sandy is different. Man, like 60 years old, sitting people down like bad kneecaps. Press 1. Sit Down Sandy out there sitting men down like bad kneecaps. Man, 60-something years old. He done reached geriatric level, and he's still doing it. Oh, I put you on? Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you was asking if I knew who said Sit 'em Down was. You know, I love me some Sit 'em Down. And whenever he start fighting again, I'm there. I'm there. Sit 'em Down, start fighting again, I'm there. He old, so who knows what's going on with him. But his last fight, he lost. So I don't know if that was the reason why he stopped. I'm not too sure. But I'm hoping that Sit 'em Down Sandy get back in the ring. We need more of that, man. And I will be re-releasing all of my Sit 'em Down Sandy reactions because I got to bring them back. I'm going to keep releasing them until we get a new fight. Every couple of months, I'm going to repost them. That's how good they are. You can see them 100 times and still like them. Mm-hmm. Sit 'em Down Sandy is very compelling. He's a compelling spectacle. Oh, we was rocking. We rocking. We up in here rocking and rolling. Yeah, them old hands be calloused. Them knuckles got calluses on them. Them old heads hands is callous like stone, you know. They done been through so many wars. Them hands is like rocks. I agree with you. I agree. They done calloused them knuckles up. Old heads hitting with that last dying man strength. That my last breath strength. They got that type of strength. You know, that strength is crazy. Yeah, man. Heavy Andy, I'm feeling for Tiafimo. Like personal things. People are, I don't think we understand as fighters how. Well, I think we do for those that know that how much personal problems can hurt your performance. Even Manny Pacquiao, when he fought Mayweather, I think his wife was about to leave him before the Mayweather fight. He was having problems with his wife. So that's something he got to go in the ring with that on his mind. And when you're a fighter, you can't have no distractions because in a split second, you can be sleep. So I feel for Tiafimo to go up against the beast up in 100. He going up on another weight class. He fighting a dude. I don't think he's undefeated. Is he undefeated? I haven't seen the guy fight, but I heard he's good. He's big, and he has to go in there with all of those mental things on his deck. Sometimes you can take that fire and turn it around and use it, or sometimes that fire just burns you up and consumes you. So we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see if Teofimo is going to use the fire or let the fire consume him. But that's a danger. That's a funny, dangerous place to be in, because there's no way that's not going to be on his mind, that he got to go into a fight, not having seen his son or his wife in that long amount of time. So personal problems matter. Personal problems matter. You got to really, as a fighter, you got to really try to keep those things in check, because they will spill over into the ring. Like, what's the name that beat Mike Tyson? He used his personal problems to win. I think his mother just died. His baby mother was in a hospital needing a kidney or something like that. And he took that energy, turned it around, and beat Mike. So like that's an example of using the fire instead of letting the fire consume you. So we'll see what Teofimo's going to do in this next fight. Teofimo's a hell of a talent. I'm pulling for him. I was always a Teofimo supporter. I don't like the way he was talking, but his skills, you can't deny him. Can't deny that man's skills. Can't deny that man's skills. He's technical. So we're about to break it down like this. On this end note, we got to have one to grow on. You know what I'm saying? We got to have one to grow on. Your Uncle Burley got to leave you with one to grow on. Today's one to grow on is understanding how to use the power of death. I think because we grew up in America, richest nation on the planet. We got all of the money over here. We got a lot of opportunity. The way we're living, we've extended our life expectancy. And because of that, it's almost like we have forgot about death. Like a lot of times we don't think about death until it's upon us, and that's a problem. Because death is a factor of life, and it's a big factor of life. Because if you're not respecting your death, there's no way you can truly live. And that's why we have so many walking zombies around. That's why the Matrix was made. The sleepwalkers are the people that are trying to live forever. And believe you me, as enticing as that sounds, if you had to live forever, watch your kids grow up and die, watch their kids grow up and die, their kids grow up and die, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be begging for death. Death is a function of life that is needed, because sometimes things can run on too long, like a run-on sentence. In dice, they used to say, if you roll too long, you roll wrong. And that's the same thing with life. Life is a blip. It is a moment. And you need to enjoy it. And the only way to enjoy it is to respect the other side, the other function of life, which is death, that makes life so great. Life wouldn't be great without death. Life would not be a pretty thing without death. I'm telling you. If death wasn't around, life would be agonizing. It'd be a prison. Imagine getting old, and your body gets old, but you don't die. That's a prison. So death is the warden. Life is the prison, death is the warden. You serve your time, then the warden comes and lets you out of jail. Now, we're not saying life is a jail in a bad way. Just metaphorically, we're trapped in this program. Every day, you're pretty much doing the same thing. And then death releases you from that circle. Right now, we all running in a circle. Sun is circling us, or we circling the sun, whatever, however it's happening. The circle's going on. And it's death that releases you from that circle. So learning to appreciate your demise will elevate your life. And on that note, we are gone, but we will be back. We're looking at two or three lives a week. We're going crazy because we done missed so much time. We got to make up for lost time. So I appreciate everybody for joining me on this live. And as always, hands up, chin down, rumble. Young man rumble.